Hollywood Times viewers. Today we have country and pop rock singer, songwriter Savannah Rae. Hey there, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. Here in it's actually kind of gloomy here in Hollywood. How about where are you right now?
Oh, it's downpour raining in Tennessee right now, so same
Oh,
here.
how beautiful. We don't know what rain is in Southern California.
Well, I did used to live in Huntington Beach, and I will say it was 75 and sunny pretty much the entire time I lived there. We had like one rain day, so.
Wow. So are you originally from here then?
No, I'm originally from Texas. I'm from San Antonio, a little town right outside of it called Bernie. But I've lived in like 15 different states, so I've been all over the place.
And why, if you don't mind me asking, why did you travel so much?
Well, it started off being my dad's job. He just kind of got jobs in different places and my family and I just decided to go with him everywhere he went. And then it slowly morphed into my job and doing the whole, traveling and touring and kind of being where the music is at. So been a lot of different places, but it's been awesome for sure.
Wow. So when was your dream or did you discover that you could sing and play?
So I probably have to attribute my love of music to my family. I don't really come from like a musical talented family per se, but I come from a music appreciation kind of family. So my parents introduced me from everything from country to rock to pop to rap to 17th century loop music, you name it, they pretty
Wow.
much let me listen to it. And so they started taking me to concerts when I was around 11, 10 or 11. And I remember specifically going to an Evanescence concert and seeing the lead singer of Evanescence. Her name is Amy Lee. She's incredible, 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 incredible voice. And so I remember seeing her and I turned to my mom and my dad and I was like, I want to do what she's doing. I want to be like her. And thankfully, they took me very seriously. They enrolled me into guitar lessons, vocal lessons, and the rest was history after that. I think I had my first performance at age 12 at a place called Sam's Burger Joint in San Antonio. And after that, just kind of being on stage, I was like, yep, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So
That is so cool. So do you remember what was your first song that you wrote?
Ooh, the first song that I wrote, I've been writing songs ever since I can remember. I honestly don't remember the first one that I wrote. It was probably just something when I was like 11 or 12, writing down in my little scratch notebook, like something that was probably really terrible. It was probably awful of a song, but I think that I just kind of wanted to dive into writing and stuff. And so I remember my first single I ever put out. It was almost kind of like a country rock single. But it was called There For You, and I put it out with I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's like a Grammy winner. His name is Michael Morales. He's from San Antonio. And so he helped me him and his brother helped me write that and produce that, and that was little me at 13 years old putting out my first original song. So
Was that like 3 years ago? You look like you're 16 years old.
I'm 23 now, so
Wow.
it's been a decade since then.
That's so, to hear you say that, it's like, wow, a decade? Okay, you go, girl.
Yeah, it's been a long time in this crazy little music industry. So
Well, we're actually here today to talk about your new latest release, Little Soldier. Like, I'm glad I had Kleenex because listeners, viewers, you will definitely need Kleenex when you hear this one. What's the inspiration for this song?
sure. So I'm a very big military supporter. I've always been a big military supporter. I have, so many family members that have been in the military, and it's such a thing that's so near and dear to my heart that I was like, okay, let's do a military song. I'm normally a country rock kind of girl. I'm on the very alternative side of country, and especially the new music that I have coming out. But I felt for this song, and I was like, let's write something meaningful. Let's you know make sure that it captures what I want it to capture and how, important of a subject this is. And so I was doing a lot of kind of just fiddling with some ideas until my producer actually sent me a pre-written song by this lady named Karen Rochelle. And he was like, listen to this, let me know what you think about it. Um, give me your thoughts. I listened to it. I cried like 5 times. It is no joke. You definitely need your hankies for that one. You need your Kleenex for that one. But I was like, this is perfect. This is if I were to write, that song, it would be that song. And so, I was like, yep, let's do it. Like, this is the perfect one that I want. And so went into the studio, recorded it, the whole shebang. And now I'm just really happy and excited that it's finally out, because I think it's such an interesting perspective, um, of not only, the soldier that's away, but also the kind of the family back home, the mom specifically, that misses him while he's away, and kind of her struggles too. It's both sides of the coin, and kind of showing the struggles of what that's like, having somebody in the military
Mm.
and in your family. And I think that it's such a powerful powerful song, and I think it's so well written. Karen did an amazing job, and I just was very privileged and honored to be able to bring it to life. It's an old song too. A ton of big stars have cut it, but no one has ever released it, and so I'm just really really happy that I was able to finally get it out there into the world.
Congratulations, and just in time for Memorial Weekend.
Yes, that's exactly kind of why we wanted to put it out there right before Memorial Weekend. So
Yeah, yeah, I have a big family. We don't have anyone in the military. And growing up as a young woman, it's like I always had friends who wanted to date military guys. And even back then, I just thought, I don't want to be with someone who's going to be gone, and I have to worry about that. That's got to be so hard for families. So this is going to be a great song for
right.
the mothers out there and all of them that have to worry about their loved ones that are away.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it really is a great song, and so I'm like I said, just get y'all tissues ready, but hopefully y'all love the song as much as I do.
And how are we able to get your song? It's the EP, right?
It's just a single, so
Okay.
it's you can get it anywhere: Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. It's on Shazam, any platform you can find it. Little Soldier. My name's Savannah Rae, so and it's linked in all of my social medias as well. I post about it constantly.
What are your social media handles?
So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you use, it's all the same at the Savannah Rae. So
Okay.
RAE too.
RAE, right? Right.
RAE.
Good. So will there be a video to follow for this single?
There will be a video, yes. We shot the video, and it's just it goes with the song. I will say that. It goes with the song. So even more of a tissue moment. So it's a
Oh,
it's a it's a really awesome video, and I am very excited for that to be out. It's going to be released really, really soon, and it'll probably be released on a major country music video platform as well. So we're just waiting to see what happens with it, and it'll be out sooner than you know it.
oh, that's great. What other kind of music are you working on? You said it's got some new stuff coming besides this one?
Yeah, so I have a ton of new music, and I'm still constantly writing. I'm writing myself, getting with a lot of co-writers as well. Just constantly churning out music and churning out ideas for the future. But even right now, I have a ton of new music that I'm just very excited to get out there. It's definitely more of like what I want my sound to sound like sonically. Very country rock, very heavy. Guitar, organic instrumentation. I think I was listening to some of my songs earlier. I think every single one of my songs has a guitar solo in it, which is just awesome. And so it's very on that country rock side of things, like female co-Wetzel, Jason Aldean, Miranda Lambert. But sprinkle in some George Strait and some Clint
Uh-huh.
Black and some traditional country sounds like that, to keep it country. But it's I'm really really excited. I think it's definitely just Savannah Rae. I don't really know what the genre is other than just Savannah Rae, my genre. So I'm very excited to finally get the music that I've just kind of been working on writing, really really believe in, out there eventually. So hopefully later on this year we'll get some of those out.
Mhm. And we kind of always talk about the pandemic because we all went through it. How did the pandemic affect your life as a songwriter, musician, entertainer?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty insane. 2020 was quote unquote supposed to be, my year. I had like 200, I was supposed to be gone like 250 days out of, the year. So I was supposed to be on the road constantly doing stuff, touring, all that shebang. And then I think the last show that I played was the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, and that was, if I'm not mistaken, February like 18 or 28 or something like that. And that was the last show that I played. I scheduled for the Houston Rodeo the very next weekend. I was like getting all ready to go. And I think Maren Morris was the last person to play at Houston Rodeo. And that's when everything just got axed,
Yeah.
like shut down the whole thing. And I was like, okay, and we were told Okay, 2 weeks.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Wow, that wasn't 2 weeks. But it was just probably an artist's worst nightmare, just to see, every single thing that they had on the schedule canceled, and just not being able to do anything. And I think that there was, about a good month, a month and a half, where no one really knew anything about, well, anything. And so we all just kind of sat there in our houses, chilling, watching Tiger King. And so it was so interesting though to be able to try to keep, me as an artist, I'm constantly trying to put myself out there, get the word out about myself and my music and stuff. And so without having the platform of touring all the time, it became kind of difficult to kind of, push myself out there. And so we were like, okay, let's go to the drawing board, let's see what we can do. And so that's when, a lot of the social media stuff kind of kicked off. That's when TikTok became such a huge thing. Constantly posting on social media, constantly doing like live streams and different like virtual concerts and stuff, just to try to keep, the flame alive, sort of thing. And so when things started gradually opening back up, that's when I started playing, the little places that I was around, like the little bars and stuff, just to kind of dip the toe back in, that even were allowing live music. So it took a really long time to get back to kind of like where we are today. I'm glad, so glad that we are, back to regular touring and all that. So it was definitely an interesting experience, but I think it also taught me a lot about, keeping the flame alive just on social media, because social media is such a powerful tool anyways to reach audiences that you're not going to reach when you're just kind of domestically touring. So I think that it was definitely kind of helped me sit down and get back to the basics and be like, okay, what are we going to do? And then, of course, songwriting, there's not a whole lot to do back in that time. So we wrote and we wrote and we wrote. Just because, when eventually the world kind of opened back up, I wanted to hit the ground running, already have stuff ready to go instead of playing catch up. So it was an interesting time, to say the least.
Did you get together with like band members like via Zoom and actually like write?
Yeah, a lot of Zooms. I did all my vocal lessons on Zooms. I, got with my co-writers on Zoom. I would say I think every single one of my meetings except for like one, it was on Zoom. So either Zoom or FaceTime. And I mean, there's still, I feel like that kind of opened the door to nowadays, even though everything's, fine. I can go, down the road and go write with someone if I wanted to right now. But I think it's just the ease of being able to use Zoom and FaceTime and, online communication like that. It's a lot easier now. And I think it kind of opened that door to just collaboration. So very, really, really, really like Zoom.
Yeah, me too. It's
Yeah,
different than the
exactly.
phone, it's great to see faces and be able to talk. I think it's super
Right.
cool. So we
Exactly.
learned that, that's one good thing that came out of it.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
I also was reading your schedule that you're going to be out here in Anaheim for NAMM. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah, that was confirmed, I think like 2 weeks ago or something like that. I was super excited. NAMM is one of my favorite places to be. I played, I guess it was 2019. Yeah, 2019. No, it actually was 2020. Just kidding. 2020 because it was in January. It was right before everything shut down. But I played NAMM in 2020. I played on the Gibson stage, which was such a dream come true because Gibson is a huge guitar brand. They're my favorite guitar brand, and playing on their stages was awesome. And so I was really looking forward to 2021 NAMM, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But 2022, now we're back in action. And it's in the summer. It's normally in the winter, so that's interesting. But I think it'll be a great time. It's one of my favorite few days. And to be able to take my band with me too, because they've never been to NAMM. So I'm excited to see them, kind of meander throughout the convention center and see all that there is to see music wise. Like I'm guarantee you it's gonna be like little kids in a candy shop. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I want to be covering it. Will you be at the Gibson booth or something? I'd like to maybe meet you in person.
I've heard that they aren't going to have a huge one this year,
Okay,
so I don't know exactly. I've heard a lot of different stuff, because
we'll
everyone's so
see.
kind of there's so many different unknowns because it hasn't been for a year, and then it also got pushed back from the winter.
Right.
That I've heard some brands aren't doing huge boosts or anything, but
Yeah.
I'm just excited to go still because I think that for the most part everyone's going to be there. So we're just kind of happy to get back out there and into NAM. So,
Exactly.
but yes, I would love to see if we can meet up at some point in time.
That'd be great. And also, I see you're going to be out there for the CMA Fest in Nashville. That's going to be awesome, right? To have everybody come back and be out there at the CMA Fest.
Yes, it's gonna be my first CMA Fest. I'm still waiting on exact like dates and times. But it'll be my first CMA Fest, and I'm very, very excited. Unfortunately, every single CMA Fest I've been out of town on tour, so I will be here, finally get to experience the whole thing. I'm very, very excited. I think, that's one of Nashville's country music's biggest events of the year, so I'm extremely excited. And then after that, I head to Wisconsin. I'm doing a show with Jason Aldean, Florida Georgia Line, and all of them, Country Fest, which I am just so excited for. That one will be extremely fun. It's my first time playing in Wisconsin and on such a grand stage like that. I mean, it's so cool.
Yeah, what is it like going to one of those festivals, and kind of like opening up? It must be very exciting, huh?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of shows, festivals are some of my favorites to play. Everyone's just super excited and happy to be there, and you get to see so many different artists, which is one of my favorite things because it's one thing to go to a concert and you can see like your favorite artists. You can see a few, like maybe two or three depending on how many openers they have, but festivals, you got a whole lineup, and I just think that it's super cool, and it's super diverse, and there's literally something for everybody on the lineup. So I'm very, very excited to play, well, just any festivals that I have coming up too. So very excited.
So who's been your mentor like all these years?
I've had many mentors. My vocal teacher back in San Antonio, his name is Buster Grant. He's really big in the rock scene down there, and so that was a big, mentor for me, and kind of also gave me a lot of appreciation for rock too, and that's probably why I cross over so much for the country kind of alternative side of things. And I've just had a lot of different mentors throughout my years. I've been doing this for 10 years. Granted, I was doing a lot of different genres because I was young and impressionable, and I was just like, oh, I'll do this now and I'll do this. It's because I just love music so much that I was so kind of flip-floppy with what what I wanted my sound to sound like, because I love it all. But having different people in LA, having different people in Nashville, having different people in Texas to really help me out has been such a blessing, because they kind of guided me, because I've been through a lot in 10 years as one might assume, and I've met a lot of people that kind of wanted to mold me in a certain way. That were like, I think you should do this, and
Right.
people are always taught to listen to their elders, listen to people that may know more than you in a certain aspect, in this certain industry. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. And I'm 15, 16 years old, so I don't really know the difference. I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay, well, if y'all want me to do this rock song, if y'all want me to do this alternative song, this pop song, whatever it is, I was like, all right, let's try it out. Just because I just love music. But
Yeah.
it's easy, to lose yourself in that, and it's easy to lose, like who you are, just because people have a preconceived idea of what they want you to sound like. They're like, you would be great doing this. I'm like, okay, cool. But I think finally getting back to those roots of like country. I'm a Texas girl at heart. Like my first job I ever wanted to have was I wanted to be a horse trainer. Like, I mean, it really doesn't get any more country than that.
Yes.
And so to be able to finally produce the music that I want to produce with a lot of really, really amazing people in Nashville, and just kind of be myself, like who I am at my core, instead of, kind of listen to other people, what they want me to be. That was definitely, such a learning curve for me. Being so young and impressionable, you just kind of, you're just there for a good time. But working with people like Jeff Huskins, who's was the keyboardist for Little Texas. Working with people like Bill McDermott, who's done stuff with George Strait, which is my number one of all time is George Strait. I love him. And so, working with such heavy hitters in this country industry, I learned something new every single time I'm with them. Even if it's just listening to my own songs back, I'm learning something about production. I'm learning something about sounds. And so I think that all of that knowledge that I gain from kind of having this circle around me of my team and everything, um, I think that that's invaluable, and I'm very, very blessed to be in the area that I am in.
Well, I'm proud of you for standing up and doing what you believe. Good for you.
Thank you, thank you. It was a long road, but we're finally just what you see is what you get now. So,
So name a female artist and a male artist that you would like to do a duet with.
uh, I'm gonna name a few.
Okay, go ahead.
So, male artists, obviously George Strait. That's my number one. He will always be my number one. He's my favorite human being in the entire world. But obviously he's George Strait. He's the legend. So it's a little far, little. I don't
Oh,
want
I
to say
have
it's
big
out of
dreams.
reach, but it's a little far off. But stranger things have happened. And then Coetzel is one of my favorites. I would love to do a duet with him of some sort. We have at least the music that I'm making now that is currently unreleased is very similar in sound to his music. And then female artists, I love Miranda Lambert. She's one of my favorites. I'm lucky enough and blessed enough to be sponsored by her clothing company, Idlewind. So she sends me stuff to wear. I play her songs all the time. So I think it's pretty fair. But I would love to
Yeah.
do something duet wise with her. And let's see, another one, maybe Gretchen Wilson. She was
Oh,
she was really awesome. And then she has that really gritty kind of alternative rock country sound. She's really cool. So maybe her for sure.
yeah, you've picked some doozies. Can't wait for
And then
those.
Jason Aldean, of course. How can I forget Jason? Jason is one of my favorite artists, and I think musically we mesh extremely well too. So those are
Yeah.
those are my picks.
And who do you dream of besides George Strait to like open for?
Honestly, any single person that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
dream, it's literally on my mood board back here. You can't see it because I haven't hung it up, but it's on my mood board. I make a mood board at the beginning of every year, just with goals and stuff that I want to try to
Cool.
achieve that year. Co's on that board, Coetzel's on that board, and Miranda Lambert's on that board too. So I would love to open for either of them, and of course, Jason Aldean is one of my favorites as well. So any of those people that I mentioned, it's pretty much all the same. Like, who do I want to just work with in general? All of those.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And like I said, your new single's amazing, and
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you taking the time to visit with us, and we look forward to hopefully catching up with you maybe when you're here in Anaheim.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on, and then of course supporting, the single Little Soldier. I hope y'all love it as much as I do. Sorry if it makes you a little emotional. Same.
But it's a good
Me,
emotional.
same.
It's good. It's a good cry, and it makes you, it shows that you have heart, and we all need a good cry, it's good for us.
Yeah, I get to sing it now every day.
So when you start selling the actual CDs, you need to send it off with Kleenex.
I know. I will just attach one, be like, here, you're gonna need it.
With the picture of your little soldier. That's
Yep.
great.
Yep. Love it.
You have anything else you'd like to share with us before we go?
Well, I mean, you can keep up with anything that I'm doing. I'm constantly updating all my social media, my website, and everything. My website is thesavannahrae.com, and then my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all social media is the Savannah Rae. So I try to keep it easy, all across the board. Anything that you can look me up, the Savannah Rae, and then just Savannah Rae on any of the platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Napster, whatever you use. I don't know, but I'm on there. So if you want to listen to Little Soldier and go and see what else I release over the next coming months. So thank you.
We look forward to that. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you.